Hi students, welcome back. In our previous chapter, we talked about our traveling to Penghu. Did you have a good time with us last time? Today, we are going to talk about another very special and unique experience from our panelist, also our guest teacher, Kim Kusik. Let's welcome Kim.
Hello everyone, good to see you again. Thank you.
Kim?
Yes.
How many countries have you ever been to?
I've been to a few countries. I've been to Germany and Russia and also Ireland, along with Taiwan.
4 countries?
Yes.
So was there any surprise waiting for you?
Of course, there are always surprises when you go to a foreign country. The surprise that was most surprising when I came to Taiwan is that I stopped in Japan first and needed to use the restroom. And I couldn't believe that I needed to use what was in there. I didn't know how to use a urinal. It was a new experience for me.
Yeah, that's why you wrote this article, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel that many foreigners have the same experience as you did for using this kind of a squat toilet.
Yes.
We'll talk about. And so then what about your experience in Germany?
When I went to Germany, I actually found that it was again the toilets. It's always the bathroom is an important spot that you need to use and don't always know what's going to come up and happen. So in America, most toilets flush the same way. You can always know how to flush it. But in Germany, I found that each toilet I encountered had a different way of being flushed. And so you always had to figure out how to flush it first. So it was, again, an interesting experience that I needed to learn from.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I was in Paris. I was hesitating to find the bottom for the flush.
Oh, sure, yes.
It was hidden in somewhere. Yeah, so using toilet actually is a big experience for us to learn, to explore.
Exactly.
Yeah. So students, we will go to our content now. Let's look at the paragraph 1 first. Students, please read the scripts on the screen and also follow Kim's pronunciation and try to read it with us.
I am 34 years old and I have no idea how to use this toilet.
我34岁，对这间厕所的如何使用毫无头绪。
I thought I had finished learning about how to use a toilet by the time I began elementary school.
我以为我在开始上小学时已学会了使用厕所。
At the age of 34, on my way to visit Taiwan for the first time, I learned that I was mistaken.
在34岁时，第一次拜访台湾的路上，我知道我错了。
On arriving at the KIX airport in Osaka, Japan, I went to the restroom to find a surprise waiting for me.
抵达日本大阪的关西国际机场后，我走进厕所，发现了一个惊奇在等着我。
I opened the restroom stall door and pondered how to approach the horizontal urinal.
我打开厕所隔间的门，并思考着如何接近这水平的便斗。
Which way do I face? Where do I put my feet? How do I position my body? How do I keep my shoes, socks, and pant legs dry? A whole new learning experience awaited me.
我该面向哪里？我该把脚放哪儿？我该如何把身体摆在适当的位置？我该如何让我的鞋子、袜子还有裤管保持干燥？一个全新的学习经验正等着我。Kim, how did you do that? How did you survive from this kind of a difficulty?
My foreign friend and I talked a lot during those first few days. So the first time at the airport in Osaka, we came out of the bathroom and we're like, what do we do? How does this work? And so we asked each other, so which way did you face? Where did you put your feet? And throughout the trip, we continued to ask each other what worked and what didn't work until we figured it out.
So you had that kind of brainstorming
Yes.
to solve the problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. 那我们现在来看一看一些字汇啊 ，vocabularies.
Stall, noun. This restroom has many stalls.
Stall 小间的意思，这间厕所隔成很多小间。The next one.
Horizontal, adjective. The ground was horizontal to the tower.
Horizontal 水平的，这塔直竖在地面上。
Urinal, noun.
尿盆儿。
The little boy still doesn't know how to use a urinal.
这个小男孩还不会使用尿盆。
Position, verb.
把什么东西放在适当的位置。
Jennifer positioned the sofa in the living room.
珍妮佛把客厅里的沙发摆好。那 let's take a look at the next one.
Squat, verb.
蹲下来。
Simon squatted down under the tree for a smoke.
塞门蹲在树下抽根烟。这个地方呢 ，squat 在这一课里面算是蛮重要的一个字啊，就是 squat toilet 蹲下来的这个尿盆，也就是 Kim 他很不熟悉的一个上洗手间的方式。那么接下来我们来看一下一个 phrase。On
the way to.
在去哪里的途中。
On the way to Canada, I visited my son in Japan.
在去加拿大的途中，我顺便到日本拜访我的儿子。Okay, now let's take a look at paragraph 2.
The airport in Osaka was the first place where I would use one of many toilets that I came to know as squat toilets.
大阪的机场是我使用过的众多我所认识的蹲式厕所中的第一站。
At the CKS airport in Taoyuan, I was a wee bit smarter.
在桃园中正机场，我学聪明了一小点点。
I took a little more time to notice that the stall doors had pictures on them.
我花了一些时间注意到厕所门上有图片。
Some doors had squat toilet symbols, and some were labeled as handicapped accessible.
有些门有蹲式马桶的符号，而有些门标记着给残障人士使用。
Aha!
Aha!
All of my life until now, I had been trained how to use a handicapped accessible toilet.
到目前为止，我全部的生活已被训练为知道如何使用残障人士的厕所。So Kim, here you add some humor into your writing.
Yes.
So how do you feel being handicapped?
Oh, it felt very strange
Uh-huh.
to come to a country at 34 years old and suddenly have to relearn how to use a toilet. It's very unnerving. You feel very inexperienced and confused.
Yeah, I think when we are traveling abroad, we always feel the same way. In some way, we are incapable of doing what we can do.
Right.
Yeah, in our mother country. 同学们，我们休息一下。Students, welcome back. Let's learn some vocabularies here.
Handicapped, adjective.
有生理缺陷的、残障的。
There is a handicapped parking space next to the door.
在靠门边有个残障车位。Next one.
Physically challenged.
残障者，这个比 handicap 的说法要好听一点，所以我们通常会鼓励学生用 physically challenged，而不要说she's a handicapped。
Although Susan is physically challenged, she still tries new things.
虽然苏珊是一位残障者，她仍然很勇敢地尝试新事物。Next one.
Accessible. Adjective.
可使用的。
Candy should not be kept where it is accessible to children.
糖果不应该放在儿童容易拿到的地方。So now let's move to paragraph 3.
My previous trips to places like Ireland, Germany, and Russia taught me that toilets had many unique ways of being flushed.
我先前的旅行像是到爱尔兰、德国以及俄国，教会了我厕所有许多独特的冲洗方式。
Asia, specifically Taiwan, taught me that I have been a physically challenged toilet user.
亚洲，特别是台湾，让我知道我一直是残障人士厕所的使用者。
During my 4-week stay in Taiwan, I learned a whole new set of toilet skills.
在我待在台湾的4个礼拜中，我学习到了一个全新的如厕技巧。
I was being re-toilet trained.
我正经历如厕的重新被训练。
After somewhat embarrassing discussions with others, I learned to face the small arch of the toilet.
经过与其他人有些尴尬的讨论后，我学到该面向便斗拱起的部分。
I learned to roll up my pant legs and carefully and steadily plant my feet on either side of the hole.
我知道我该卷起我的裤管，并且小心又稳定地把我的双腿安放在洞中两旁。
After a number of trials with some humbling errors, I learned how to best deal with the physics of hair changing the direction of fluids based on pressure and other factors.
经过许多的尝试和卑微的错误后，我学会了如何好好处理因着压力和其他因素，就会轻易造成物理上水流方向的改变。Kim, here, I think the last sentence is a kind of long and not very easy to be understood. Can we explain it a little bit about the physics and the directions?
Yeah. I use some of those words because it's a slightly embarrassing topic to discuss, but I think that it's important to recognize that as humans, there are many things that can cause using a toilet to be difficult. So some of those things have to do with how our bodies are designed. And women had different problems, obviously, than men do.
Yes.
So it can be a little difficult to make sure everything gets in the toilet when you use a squat toilet.
Yes. If you have a different pressure or you face the different directions, then the
It's
toilet,
a mess. Right.
it's a mess.
Not good.
Yeah, so you try to make it sounds more academic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also one of the humor here.
Yes.
That's great, great trying. And now let's get to the vocabulary again.
Okay. Previous, adjective.
先的、前面的、以前的。
I cannot join your party because of my previous engagement.
我因为先前已经有约，所以无法参加你的派对。Next one.
Unique, adjective.
唯一的、独一无二的、独特的。
Claire is a very unique woman.
克雷尔是一位很独特的女子。I think Kim is also a very unique lady. Next one.
Flush, verb.
用水冲洗。
Please flush the toilet after you use it.
用完马桶，请记得冲水。This one I always remind my sons to do that. Yes. And let's move to the paragraph 4.
The previous 34 years were spent chastising male, family, and friends for struggling to get everything in the toilet.
之前的34年，为了厕所的好好使用，我常常责骂家庭里的男性成员或者是朋友。
Wow, I didn't know I was going to experience the same challenge.
哇，我不知道我将会体验同样的挑战。
I now sympathize with them and apologize for my previous ignorance.
如今，我同情他们，并对我先前的无知而道歉。
After my first month in Taiwan, I no longer needed to use a toilet, which allowed me to sit down.
我待在台湾的第1个月后，我不再需要能让我坐着的坐式厕所。
All of the muscles in my legs were finely tuned from their time spent holding me upright over squat toilets.
我所有的腿部肌肉也可以在必须要用的时间中很精密的协调，在我使用蹲式厕所时，能撑住我的上半身。
I could hold my own with the best of the Taiwanese toilet trained.
我以最佳台湾如厕的训练，得以撑住我自己。
I was feeling like a competent 34-year-old again.
我感觉自己再回到那能干的34岁。
Now I just need to be diligent about always remembering to put the toilet paper in the garbage can and not in the toilet.
现在我只需要常常记得把厕所卫生纸放进垃圾桶，而不是便斗中。
Once I have mastered this skill, they might allow me to consider citizenship.
一旦我完全掌控了这个技巧，他们可能会允许让我考虑成为公民。Students, here you can find that Kim added her humor again into the article. If you can use the squat toilet, then we can consider to give you our citizenship.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you thrilled to be the Taiwanese?
I am. I think it would be a lot of fun to be a Taiwanese citizen.
That's great. So can we talk about a little bit the male thing in the restroom? So you have to argue with them all the time, right?
Yes. Before I came to Taiwan, I was often frustrated with my younger brothers.
Yes.
That I would use the restroom after them and go, oh, what a mess. And think they could be a little bit cleaner. They should know better how to use a toilet. But then I arrived in Taiwan and had to use a different style toilet and found that I needed to be more sympathetic, that, oh, maybe it isn't so difficult. Maybe it can be challenging and I need to be more considerate of my fellow males.
Yeah, that's great. So you are more sympathized now.
Yes.
Great. Students, let's take a break now. Students, welcome back. And Kim, I have another question for you. You mentioned about the used paper in the garbage,
Yes.
not in the toilet.
Right.
In Taiwan, right?
Yes.
So there must be different ways to do that in other countries.
Definitely.
What about in America?
So in America, the septic system is set up to allow you to put your tissue in the toilet itself. And then you flush it down and then they separate it as it goes through the system. And in Taiwan, it doesn't work that way. My understanding is the system isn't big enough to handle the tissue, so you need to put it in the garbage can.
Yeah.
But when you've been using the toilet for more than 30 years, it's difficult to suddenly change. And so often foreigners like myself come and we don't remember to put it in the trash can, we put it in the toilet, and then someone finds us and yells at us, so we have to quickly remember to always use the trash can, and that seems to work out well. So I think I'm finally there. I can remember to do that.
I know that's a big difference is by using this. That's because the tissue are different or what? I don't know. Or because of the system.
I think it's because of the plumbing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. You have to remember that. And now let's get to the vocabulary part.
Ignorance. Noun.
无知，不学无术，愚昧。
Please forgive my ignorance.
请原谅我的无知。Next one.
Allow. Verb.
允许，准许。
I don't allow anyone to smoke in my house.
我不允许任何人在我家抽烟。Allow to 后面加的是原形动词，同学们要注意一下。Next one.
Upright. Adjective.
竖起的，直立的，垂直的。
Before the airplane takes off, everyone's seat must be in an upright position.
在飞机起飞之前，每个人的座位必须是直立的。Take off 是飞机起飞的意思。Next one.
Citizenship. Noun.
公民或者市民身份。
He was born in the U.S., so he has U.S. citizenship.
他在美国出生，因此他拥有美国公民身份。Now let's take a look at some phrases here.
Struggle to.
挣扎于，
This poor family is struggling to get enough money.
这个贫穷家庭正为钱而挣扎。Struggling to or struggling with. Sometimes how do we differentiate these two differences? Or they can use interactively.
I struggle to verb and I struggle with noun. So I
Okay.
struggle with my homework. I struggle to sing a song well, perhaps.
Thank you very much. 好，同学们 ，struggle to 后面加的是动词 ，struggle with 后面加的是名词，请记住这一点哦。再来，我们看下一个，
Apologize to, apologize for.
道歉、认错、赔不是。
He apologized to her for not going to her party.
他因为没有出席他举行的宴会，而向他表示歉意。Apologize something to somebody,
Yes,
Right.
apologize to someone.
someone for something.
Yes.
对啊，对谁表示歉意。好，接下来我们看到是 allow to
Allow to.
OK 允许准许。
She allowed us to smoke in her house.
他允许我们在他家抽烟。allow to 后面加的是原形动词，同学们请注意一下。Students, we still have a little bit time, so we will review this article for some key words with Kim. Kim, can we tell our students a little bit more about the word stall? Because in Taiwan, maybe we don't quite understand what does it mean here.
Sure.
Stall, S-T-A-L-L.
A stall, it usually is a line of stalls. So if there is a space where an individual can go in and another individual can go in. So a restroom often has many stalls, at least 2 or more.
Yes.
So if you go to the airport, maybe there's 10 stalls all in a row and you can pick which stall. So in this article, it took me a while to realize the labels on the door, the symbols show a squat toilet symbol or a handicapped accessible symbol.
Yes.
On the stall door. Also, horses usually stay in stalls. So it's, again, a compartment or a small space, usually with a door, that someone or something can stay in.
Okay, that's good. Okay, stall. The other one is the urine. Urine is the, how do you explain that?
So urine is a noun, and it refers to the liquid that comes out of you after you've drank a lot of water. And
尿尿.
there you go. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And the so
Urinal.
urinal is
Urinal, yeah.
so the suffix al means pertaining to or about. So a urinal is referring to the place where you put your urine.
Okay, that's good. for our students to understand. And the word is very cute. We, W-E-E.
Yes. We has the same meaning as urinate, which is the verb that it means to have urine come out of you. So we has two meanings. So we can mean to go to the bathroom, I need to wee.
Okay.
Or it can mean a little. So I am a wee bit taller this year than last year. I am, in this story, a wee bit smarter. I know a little bit more.
That's right. we 这个字呢，其实它有两个意思，一个也是尿尿的意思，一个是小小的。所以 Kim 把它放在这个地方是 play on words， 就是一个字，它有代表两个不同的意思。I become a little bit wee smarter.
A wee bit smarter, yes.
Yeah, that's right. 它变得有一点点小聪明了。Then the flush is very important. We can see that in each restaurant, right? You have to flush it. 要冲水。And how about the word chastising?
Chastising means to tell somebody that you don't think they did it correctly. So correcting someone and possibly scolding them. Scolding them seems a little bit harsher, a little bit stronger of a word, but same meaning. You're telling somebody that you don't want them to do it again or please do it differently.
That's right. Chastising 跟就是责骂的意思，但是没有责骂那么的严厉啊，可能就是用比较有礼貌的方式去请别人做好一点啊 ，chastising。The other word is accessible. Accessible, so that you can get into, get into something.
Yes. So accessible, again, it's the use of a subject. So I can access, I can get to it. So it is accessible. It's not hard. It's within my reach.
Yeah, or we can access to the computer, right?
Right.
Something like that.
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's about the whole article about the squat toilet. It's very interesting and it's very unique. But for the foreigners, it's a common phenomenon. When my foreign friends deliver this kind of speech, only the foreign audience laughed the best because they feel the same.
Right. It's a very common experience.
That's right. And when you were abroad, like in Russia or in Germany,
yes,
have you ever encountered any difficulties?
Each country has its own things that you need to figure out and work with. That in Russia, I was very excited to figure out the public transportation.
Yes.
Similar to the MRT in Taipei or Kaohsiung, that it has its own way of doing things. You just have to figure it out. But it's generally, it's a benefit and it's a good thing, but you always have to learn something new.
Was it complicated to get around in Russia?
Once you know how it works, like once you have a picture of how the actual routes go, it's easier to figure out. But it takes a little while to understand, like the warnings about the door closing or where to stand to get on, where to stand to get off. Those are important things that some people may take for granted, but as a foreigner, you have to observe for a little bit and then try it and hope you don't get hurt.
Yeah, that's right. But you know Russian, right?
Yes.
Maybe it's easier for you to get around.
Yes.
If you don't know Russian, is it easy to get around if you only speak English?
No, I didn't find very many people who spoke English in Russia. They may speak more now, but not when I was there.
I see. Students, it's fun to travel around the world, but there are so many things that we have to learn when we are traveling. Hope that you have learned something today. Let's take a look at our next chapter in our next week. See you. Goodbye.